You ever get one of those chain emails? The ones about a girl named Lucy who hung herself, and if you don't send it to 13 other people, then she'll appear in your room at 3 a.m. and kill you? You'll probably shake your head and laugh it off, right? Who even comes up with that stuff? Yeah, I thought that as well. It began as any other workday. I was sitting in my office, hunched over my computer, scrolling through the web. It had been a slow week. I had gotten ahead on my paperwork by 3 weeks. So now I was running out the clock until I could drink myself into oblivion for 2 days. Clearing out my spam folder was as close as I could get to actual work today. So I decided, what the hell. After clearing out countless phishing emails and invites to chats with single moms, I came across an email with the subject line, "If you're reading this, I've already killed you." Now it wasn't the title that piqued my interest, it was the sender. It was Sam from down in accounting. Sam was a decent enough guy, a real whiz with numbers, and he had joined me once or twice on my weekend binges. He never struck me as a chainmail guy, especially one as morbid sounding as this. Curiosity got the best of me, and I opened the email. Immediately, I was hit with a black screen, and my blood boiled over with annoyance. I was getting ready to call the IT desk when my screen popped back to life. The email was full screen and said this: "If you're reading this, I've already killed you. Maybe you would have been safe if you deleted the email. Billy will come for you tonight. She likes to play with her food. Survivor games for 3 weeks and you will be free. Or send this to 30 other people and share your fate. The clock is ticking. She is coming." A bit more foreboding than I'm used to, that's for sure. I deleted the email and sent one to Sam asking what the hell he was smoking. In 15 minutes, I heard a faint knock on the door. "Can I come in?" Sam's voice meekly crawled from outside the door. "Course," I said, bewildered. Sam wandered in, quietly shutting the door behind him. He was disheveled to say the least. His shirt was untucked, a patchy 5 o'clock shadow puckered his face, and it looked like he hadn't slept in a month. He quietly sat across from me, clearing his throat. "Scott, did you go read the whole thing?" Sam squeaked. "Of course. You sent that to anyone else, Sam? I think it's kind of amusing, but if Benson finds out, he'll have your ass." I laughed. Sam didn't join in. A look of guilt hung over him. My chuckling died down as I began to shift in my chair. "I'm sorry. I didn't think you'd actually read it. I was desperate," Sam proclaimed. I scoffed at him. He was being dead serious. "Your commitment to the bit is impressive, Sam," I began, but was quickly cut off with a sudden outburst. "It's not a fucking bit," he shouted. Office drones from outside perked up their ears and looked in. I got up, quickly shutting the blinds. Sam continued his ranting. "You'll think I'm nuts, but it's real. I see her everywhere. I've had to barricade my bedroom door at night. She waits outside, taunting me, saying it won't stop her for long. Last night, I woke up with this on my arm." He rolled up his sleeve to reveal a deep gash running up his forearm. "Oh Christ, that looks infected," I gagged. "She could have killed me. She got into my room somehow, but she let me live. She wanted me to send those emails. She wants to spread. It was the only way." He continued to plead. I looked down on him with pity. "We have a busy quarter. I know it's been working like mad to meet the deadlines." I put a hand on his shoulder, and he flinched away like I was a leper. He got up, backing away slowly. "Sam, just calm down," I ordered. "No, Scott. Just send the email to 30 other people and you'll be fine." He forced a smile. "I already deleted it. Hate those dumb things you always get a bunch of spam cluttering your inbox if you do it," I explained. The smile faded away and was replaced by a look of dread. "Then lock your door at night. Stay away and look out for her." he finally replied. He rushed out then, muttering another slew of apologies under his breath. He got a bunch of strange looks as he ran out my door, thanking his officer up for sure. I threw my hands up in the air, flabbergasted at it all. Thinking he had just lost it a bit, I went back pretending to work. In hindsight, I should have listened. The night was the first, and it was the worst. I got home around 5:30 and heated up some microwave dinner slop in lieu of a home-cooked meal. I parked myself in front of the TV and watched Sopranos for the 50th time. Tony was yelling something about a bird feeder when I heard a massive crash from my room. I sprung up like a jackrabbit, hurrying to find the source. I came to my bedroom to find my bookshelf had collapsed, novels and trinkets strewn about everywhere. I sighed, thinking that maybe I had overstocked it or something, when I heard a cackle behind me. It sounded like a little girl snickering at some schoolyard prank. Bewildered, I turned around to see something sprint down my hall, the pattering of tiny feet following it. I rushed out to find nothing, the noise ending as suddenly as it began. 2 rooms away, I heard my TV click off with a sudden thump. The only sound that remained in my apartment was the lowly hum and rattle of my fridge. I made my way back, listening for the pitter-patter of little feet. I jumped, whirling around. My bedroom door had slammed shut. The bathroom door. The rapid beats outplaying the cabinets like percussion instruments. Panic began to set in as the rational part of my brain struggled for an answer. The only thing I could think of was someone was playing an elaborate joke on me. The more I thought about it, the more sense it made. Some sick joke Sam and his account buddies had cooked up. I was going to slap him upside the head next time I saw his sorry. The train of thought was derailed by a sharp pain slid across my thigh, a shrill giggling ringing out as I cried. I buckled under the weight of the pain and clenched my thigh. I took my hand away to reveal a crimson stain of red that was beginning to pool. I limped to the counter, scrambling to find some sort of cloth or paper towel to stop the bleeding. I rummaged around my kitchen sink, a slight snickering hanging in the air. It was a teasing laugh, playful yet full of venomous intent. I looked up, facing the window overlooking the street. Out the corner of my eye, I saw it. It was a little girl hunched over on the fridge. She was perched there like a gargoyle, eyeing me through dirty bangs. She wore a long yellow raincoat, and her skin was pale and ghostly. She was twiddling her thumbs, a blood-covered razor dripping my life onto the floor next to her. Her face was black and white, like it was covered in soot. I looked closer, and I saw it was actually a black and white grease paint. She had painted it like a skull, a little reaper right out of a fairy tale. She saw me standing there, a blood-soaked towel clinging to my leg. She broke out in a Cheshire's grin, and I felt an icy sting in my chest. The rational part of me still wanted to believe this was a prank. "Who are you? And what are you doing in my house?" I squeaked out. "My name is Billy. I want to play with you for a little while," the girl retorted. Her voice was shrill and playful, like how a toy doll would sound. "Billy, like the god damn it, I knew it. What are you, like Sam's psycho niece or something?" I screeched at the snot-nosed little brat. Billy put her hands to her chin in a thoughtful expression, pretending to be lost in thought. Sam. Oh yes, the last man I played with. He got boring and finally followed the rules," she pouted. "No one ever sees my letter anymore, and it can get awfully boring." She broke out in another case of giggles, and I was, as the pain in my thigh throbbed, was starting to get more than a little unnerved. "What do you want from me?" I questioned the demon child. She was all smiles now. "How about hide and seek? You go hide, and I'll seek," she boasted. "Better not let me find you, or well, why ruin the surprise?" She cackled and readied herself. She eyed me like a predator and began counting down from 10 in a monotone voice. Suddenly, The whole situation felt very real. I broke out of my stupor and ran to my room as she got to a drawn out 6. Where could I hide realistically? I was 6 feet tall and kind of burly, we shall say. I thought back to what Sam had said this morning: lock my door and stay awake. I ran back to my bedroom door, closing it behind me in a hurry. It didn't lock on its own. I had to struggle to push the fallen bookshelf in front of it. I leaned onto the thing, bracing myself against the door as well. Putting my head to the door, I heard nothing from outside. Only a sound was my own ragged breathing. Jesus, I was out of shape. It seems pathetic to be scared of a little kid, probably playing a joke. Though if it was, it had gone too far already. A soft knock on my bedroom door made me jump out of my skin. I repositioned myself as Billy let out an impatient sigh from outside. I hadn't even heard her walk around. She would have to make a sound when she leapt off my fridge. How the hell did she even get up there to begin with? More knocking followed by an exasperated thud against the door. Wee whiz, I wonder where he's hidden. Billy brayed loudly from outside. I held my head in silence, foolishly hoping she wouldn't think I was in here. The door shook as Billy kicked it, a powerful show of force from someone her size. The doorknob started to rattle with anticipation. Again, I stood silent. It's a pretty pathetic attempt at hiding, Scott. It's like you don't even want to live. Then again, no family, no friends, alone in the dark, watching an old TV on a Friday night. Maybe you just have nothing worth living for. Billy mocked cruelly. My heart sank as I slumped against the door. She was hurtful, but not too far off, I suppose. She gave another heartfelt kick, and the door shook limply. I heard thumping noises leading away from the door, Billy muttering angrily to herself. Sighing a breath of relief, I put my head in my hands. I was going to murder Sam, I thought. I would take him out for a beer, slap him on the back and say there was no hard feelings, then strangle him in a dark alley. Even then, I clung to the notion that this was just a prank, bro. It was naive of me to think that even. The alternative was too horrific to ponder. My head shot up, dishes smashing to the floor, it sounded like. I heard Billy laugh to herself, squealing and wooing like a drunken partygoer. As she broke my dining ware, I heard scurrying around the walls, scratching sounds, like claws being sharpened as they skittered around. Then silence, like someone had placed a vacuum in my apartment. Foolishly, I put my head against the door, looking for any signs of unwelcome guest. Nothing, not a peep. A sharp pain in my left hand. I came away from the door to see a bloody kitchen knife busting outward from the palm of my hand. I yelped in agony and tore my hand away, scrambling away from the door altogether. Billy was giggling on the other side. She slowly slid the knife out of the door. My hand trembling, a clean cut, but it ached like nothing else. I looked to the slash on my door. Billy's dull hazel eyes stared back at me. It was a look full of loathing and disgust. Look at you, curled up in a ball, covering like a little baby, she spat, venom oozing with every word. Killing you will just be a mercy. We can't have that. Not yet anyway, she giggled. What the fuck do you want from me? I cried out in terror. I want new friends. People who are fun to play with, she said plainly. But I deleted the email, I whimpered. You'll figure it out. You're a clever little manager. If not, then well. She trailed off. She disappeared from view, letting her threat linger in the air like a bad smell. A piercing sound, like nails rubbing against a sandpaper-covered chalkboard, sprung up behind me. I winced and turned around to see the sound was emanating from a bedroom window. I wish I hadn't. Billy clumped to the outside window, Her hands were curled like talons as she hung outside. Her face was almost the same, her smile contorted, full of jagged teeth. Her eyes were slit like a cat, yellow as the midnight sun. She saw me gawking there and waved at me, then disappeared into the night. I stayed up the night, balled up in my blanket like a child. The light in my room was on, and I jumped at every knock and noise in the night. I fell asleep briefly around 4 a.m. and awoke to find a sticky note pasted to my head. It was a little smile with the words, "See you tonight," written on them. Sam was right. She could have killed me any time she wanted. She just wanted to break me first. I found the kitchen to be awash with debris and glass. It was an absolute disaster zone. That was the first night. It had been a week since then, and it has only gotten worse. The following Monday, I arrived in office to find the office drones gathered and chatting like old hens. The news around the water cooler was grim indeed. Sam had been found dead last night. He had hung himself. Ricky, also from accounting, claimed his brother-in-law was a cop and had told him they had found a note next to the body. The note claimed that Sam was overwhelmed with grief and could not live with his crimes any longer. A bit dramatic, I thought, but I had lost my chance to gain any info on Billy. The workday came and went, and I dreaded being home alone with her. Billy's torment continued. It was as mundane as a knock on the wall to something as horrid as throwing things at me or trying to stab me. Sometimes she would just enter the living room and collapse to the ground without saying a word. She would watch TV, draw obscene pictures with crayon. She would show them to me like I would be proud. Then would often depict a yellow-white thing with fangs that was jumping rope or dismembering a family. She would get this pouty look in her eye, kick me in the shin and run off to God knows where when I didn't respond to her drawings. I haven't slept in a week. At night, I sleep with one eye open, glued to the ever-growing barricade at my door. When I do doze off, I find cuts and bruises on me. The cuts are getting deeper, the bruises more swollen and ghastlier. I can't do another 2 weeks of this. I need it to stop. She wants new friends. Maybe even someone will love her. Yeah, I'm full of crap for the last one. But she's going to take me. I won't let her. So, I came up with an idea. What if an email didn't have to be an email? What if I set her loose just by sending out a mass text or something like that? Sam died, but maybe he didn't hook enough people. He hung himself out of guilt. Yeah, right. So, a mass text chain wouldn't do. This might work. If it does, well, better you than me. So remember, if you're reading this, I have killed you. Billy will come for you tonight. She likes to play with her food. The clock is ticking. She is coming. Hi everyone, and thank you for staying with me through the end. If you like my content, please feel free to leave a like and share this with others. And if you're new to the camp, do not forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon so that you do not miss any updates from my end. With that being said, take care, sweet dreams, and remember, do not wander too far from the camp.